Garu, Chairperson CII, Vanita Garu, Mr. Kannan, Srinivas Rao Garu, Krishna Prasad Garu, and my friends from the media, and all the delegates who are attending this event today on cyber security and the threat it possesses and the countermeasures to face these threats. Congratulate all of you for being in Hyderabad, because this is a wonderful initiative by the CII. I think as both Krishna Prasad Garu and Srinivas Rao Garu had mentioned, cyber terrorism, cyber crime is one of the most challenges this generation faces today. And so therefore I congratulate CII for taking the initiative, for organizing this wonderful event here. And I also congratulate CII for coming up with a lot of interesting, enthusiastic initiatives in Hyderabad in consonance with the business trends across the globe. And once again, welcome you all to this event. Our government, as you all know, is only 46 days old. Most of the things, in fact, I was just telling Krishna Prasad Garu that he didn't leave much for me to say, because he's pretty much explained all the statistics and all that the government is doing now vis-a-vis cybercrime and what is happening in the state. We are doing our best so far, but obviously one thing we all need to realize, any government-related function, I think there is always a lacuna, there is always a space, there is always a room to grow more, to actually do more from the industry side, from the private sector side as well. Because government can only do so much. We need you to partner us, we need you to collaborate with us to actually counter something as serious as cyber terrorism and cyber crime. You do know that our government has, the last 45 days, taken a lot of initiatives. We are working on a number of initiatives, in fact, in information technology. We are not content in being the number 2 city in India as far as exports go, IT exports go. We want Hyderabad to be the top-notch destination for information technology in this country to begin with, and then we also want to compete globally. That's a challenge, that's a task we've set for ourselves, and I request all of your cooperation, including the cooperation of industry bodies such as CII, and everything and anything we can do from the government side in the next 5 years, we will, to ensure Hyderabad not only remains as a top-notch destination, but also scales up to be the first preferred destination for information technology in this country. In that context, I think a great opportunity presents by itself in the form of this so-called new threat, the cybercrime. Every threat, every challenge also presents an opportunity. So therefore, if you look at it with optimism, I think I have certain numbers here. According to a recent report released by National Crime Records Bureau, the NCRB, which I think Krishna Prasad Garu just mentioned, the cybercrimes registered within IT Act grew by about 50% in India between 2012 and 13. And the maximum offenders in the age group of 18 to 30. Indian states with maximum cybercrimes reported are Uttar Pradesh, the United Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra. The maximum number of arrests for cybercrimes were made in Maharashtra, 426, Andhra Pradesh with 296, and Uttar Pradesh with 283. And also, according to the NCRB data, the registered cybercrime under IT Act has grown straight by 51.5% from 2012 to 13. Plus, crimes registered under Indian Penal Code grew by about 122.5% in the same period. Together, there is an increase of 63.73%, which is quite alarming. Last year, the Indian Penal Code has had a 23.5% of registered cybercrimes, and IT Act had 76.5% increase in cybercrimes. So we have to be vigilant and ensure that such crime rate comes down drastically. India is at the second position in the list of countries with maximum cyber attacks on mobile devices. According to the reports of Kaspersky, most of the attempts had been made for phishing and stealing of banking details. We have to be very vigilant to ensure that our cyber security is of high standards to defeat the hackers across the world who target us. They said that India is one among the most targeted countries in the world, because we are also the third largest economy in the world. Therefore, there is this increasing threat perception of cybercrime. According to Symantec's 2013 Norton report, By July 2013, sophisticated cyber assaults had cost Indian individuals and companies put together some $4 billion. Around 42 million Indians became victims of cybercrime annually, and about 85% of the websites, both public and private, at one point of time or the other, have complained about being hacked at least once. But most companies actually don't come up in the open, for fear of being perceived as being vulnerable, for fear of being perceived as being susceptible to cyber attacks. We are a country that is growing very, very fast digitally. India is on a very fast growth track, digitally speaking. India's current economic, social and infrastructure development process is making greater use of digital technology for bringing transformation across different sectors. However, this excessive dependence on the internet technologies makes the country also vulnerable to cyber attacks that can have serious implications for the nation, economy, and also our national security. Therefore, there is an urgent need to address the risks emanating from operations in cyberspace. Given that the private sector leads the development and adoption of internet technologies in India and elsewhere, it is imperative for government and private sectors, as I said, to collaborate and work together to overcome the challenges of cybersecurity. Analysts tell us that India currently has about 22,000 certified cybersecurity professionals, which is very, very less compared to what we require. The number that is required, according to various reports and studies, is about 77,000. So we're short by about 55,000 personnel. The current number is minuscule if you compare ourselves to another country like China. China is obviously the second largest economy, with us being the third largest economy now. China has about 25 million so-called cyber warriors who are engaged in a variety of activities. Compared to that, India has about 22,000 certified cyber security professionals. So there's a huge gap to be filled, there's a huge gap to be covered. In order to effectively analyze and prevent future cyber attacks, companies and individuals must adopt suitable cyber security measures. Sophisticated malware like StuNet, Duku, Flame, and others cannot be tackled with normal cybersecurity products. We need dedicated cybersecurity workforce, which shall be well trained. Today, telecommunications are fully integrated into cyberspace as well. Since the advent of internet protocols onto mobile devices, especially, and with their ever-growing presence in mobile devices and with smartphones coming in as well, the system is becoming more and more vulnerable. In fact, Russian cybersecurity solutions firm, the Kaspersky Lab, placed India second on its 2013 list of those countries that are most vulnerable to attacks on mobile devices and mobile phones. India is a powerhouse of new technology inventions. The country is constantly enlarging its competitiveness in high technology applications. India has a vibrant technology market for the enhancement of new technologies. Compared to global figures, India is playing catch-up in deploying safeguards like behavioral profiling, monitoring security information, and event management technologies and threat intelligence. Information security needs to become part of the business strategy and should be championed by senior management. Organizations should try to identify their most valuable assets, information, and prioritize protection of them. Security incidents should be seen as critical business risk that may not always be preventable but can be managed to acceptable levels. Information security and fragility make the electronic systems in a challenging and chasing phase when it is passed on from and into other via internet. In today's world, as the necessity and importance of sensitive information is growing with new advancements in technologies, they become more prone to attacks and oriented towards insecure environment. Obviously, as you all know, attackers always want just an attack on such information, either to use it or intercept it. I believe this conference of CII will certainly go a long way in bringing you all together, in ensuring that governments, both the state and the central government, adopt the cutting-edge technologies, come up with more and more initiatives in building the cyber warriors, as they're called, to ensure that we have not just a vibrant information technology environment, but also a vibrant and safe information technology environment. Recently in Hyderabad, we had launched, in fact I had inaugurated a lab by Ernst & Young, a cyber forensic and e-discovery center, which is supposedly the biggest by E&Y in the country. And more private players are also coming into this whole arena of cyber forensics and cyber crime, which is a welcome move. The government, as Mr. Krishna Prasad had mentioned, is doing its own bit. We have our own cybercrime cell, but there is definitely a need to increase our presence in the cybercrime world in terms of preventing it. And we also, from the government side, need to collaborate more and more with the private players, the cyber forensic labs, and the other people engaged in the cutting edge technology development. So going forward from now on, I would request Mr. Krishna Prasad and his team, as well as our Director General Police, to work closely with you, the industry, in making sure that Telangana will be the safest state in the country as far as cyber terrorism goes. And from our side, I guarantee every cooperation that you would seek to ensure that cybercrime and cyber terrorism is prevented. And I welcome private partnership in this regard. We would like to work with you all. Welcome any inputs, welcome any suggestions from you all at the end of this seminar. If you could give us constructive policy. There is a national policy, of course, but in terms of devising, customizing a policy that is well suited for our needs, I welcome your inputs, I welcome your suggestions, and I request CII to come up with some concrete suggestions to the state government so that we can work more effectively going forward. Once again, appreciate CII and all the delegates for participating. Thank you very much.